Wherever you go in America, there's always the high school football field. And what does landscape at this point have to do with how we think about identity? Yeah, I think that adolescent boys are really complicated. And I think it's complicated on many levels. One is the level of how many really did want to be football players and how many became football players because their dad was the high school football player. So it's really interesting because a lot of people say, well, you did football because you identify as a butch woman and you want to be one of the football players, right, Kathy? And I'm like, no. I actually have no desire to be a high school football player. None whatsoever. The portraits are made not after the game or before the game, but after practice. So after practice was really important to me because when I made the surfer portraits, it was after surfing. I wanted the physicality, I wanted the sweat, I wanted the exhausted body. And I wanted them in their practice uniforms, and because post and pre-game, like getting high school kids to actually want to stand for a 50-year-old woman to do a portrait of them, forget about it. And so at practice, I could get them there. The camera that I was using was that every other sports photographer was laughing at me on the field because I was the person there with a Hasselblad H2 with a phase 45 plus back. It's meant to do studio photography. I mean, people were like, well, why do you have that camera here? And I'm like, well, you know, and then they would look at my short little lens. And all of them have these very long lenses, you know, because they're capturing the action. And I was just, I was the person with this short lens with this very expensive camera on the sideline. But I really thought it was almost like there was this choreography that happened. Like it was so interesting to me. Like it came down to almost like a level of street photography. Like where you go back to early 70s street photography where all of a sudden you saw a set of movements that created something that was mirroring other things. And that for me these in-between moments were so much more interesting to begin to look at as a set of a place to enter than just what we know as the catch and the throw and the huddle and the this and that, you know. We're a country at war. And a lot of this body of work of football struck me at a time in which that so many young men were having to make very interesting choices between college scholarships and sports scholarships to becoming a soldier. So it was really fascinating, and I took it very seriously, and it was actually very emotional to really think about these guys, you know, possibly becoming soldiers and losing their lives at such a young age. And it chokes me up. And it was pretty profound, I would say.